Welcome, everyone, to episode 85 of 1 Hour, 1 Decision, 1H1D. I am Chris.
And I am Tom.
And we take 60 minutes and play a random game on Xbox Game Pass and decide, nunchucks or katanas?
Neither. Double swords all the way.
Sword. Okay.
Sword and board? I don't know.
It's kind of like nunchucks with two blades instead, right?
Sai? Never.
Sai's always. Anyway, this episode we're going to be talking about, and I apologize if I'm saying this wrong, NARAKA BLADEPOINT.
Well, you got the blade point right.
I hope so. That would be a problem if I got that.
BLADEPOINT.
Dang, I should have said it that way. Damn it. Oh, well. This game is made by 24 Entertainment, and it came out back in August of 2021. I played this on the PC. It was a deceiving. I don't think this is right, but it says on Xbox it was 29.38 gigabytes. But I believe there was like another 30 gigabytes that it installed after. So, be that as it may. Tom, what about you? How big was this game for you?
Oh, see, I likewise have a problem. Nobody could give a fair estimate today because I played it on the cloud. So it was 0 gigabytes on my Xbox One. But I did look because I felt like this was good information to have. Allegedly, 24.9 gigabytes if you have an X or an S.
Okay, not bad. I mean, they did a little compression of some sort for the series consoles, so good for them.
Yeah.
What kind of game is this?
Wow. Is it possible, Chris? Have we put down exactly the same 4 words in exactly the same order?
It happens. I mean, 85 episodes is bound to happen once or twice.
Yeah, just statistically, right? 1, 2, 3. No. Third person battle royale.
Yeah. That's exactly what I said. That's exactly what I wrote too.
His notes match mine identically, folks.
Actually, yeah, we didn't even. I wrote the number 3 RD just like you, Tom.
Yeah, our capitalization is exact.
Yeah, that's fascinating. Actually,
bizarre.
Yeah. Well, what about that bizarre game loop, or is it bizarre?
Mine's a little bit wordier than yours. I put collect weapons and equipment and then use that against other players trying to be the last one standing. But Chris, I think you were a little bit more to the point.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally be the last one standing. Because you could technically survive without using any weapons. Technically.
Yeah. And I couldn't.
I definitely couldn't either. But that is a possibility. So yeah, that was it's your typical battle royale game. Although, and we'll talk about this in the likes as we get into them, there is some variety in this game. It's not just that last man standing kind of thing.
That's why don't we start there, Chris?
Yeah.
Why don't you describe that and why you like it?
Sure. This is a third person battle royale, as we mentioned before. But kind of like Fortnite and whatnot, but is more melee oriented than the others, I feel like, right? Because the weapons that you're picking up are swords and nunchucks, as we mentioned at the top of the episode. And I think, is there bow staffs?
Yeah.
There's spears. There's spears.
Yeah. Close enough.
Yeah. Close enough. So, like you said, there is the battle royale portion of the game. But there is, I played a little bit of it. There's a mode where you're like almost like collecting items, and like it's like a almost like a team oriented multiplayer experience. So you're collecting items and you're trying to bring them back to your base, almost like not capture the flag, but like
Hungry Hippos.
Sure, yeah, Hungry Hippos, exactly. So. That is a classic multiplayer game of our youth. So yeah, we that's what you had to do, and then the other team would have to defend you from collecting those.
Yeah,
hungry hippo balls. Essentially, at this point,
go collect the orbs, bring them back. Don't let the other teams grab the orbs and bring them back.
Right. So it was nice to have that kind of variety. And I think they're still working on it, but there is like almost like a campaign, I don't know if it's cooperative, but there is some sort of campaign that they are working on. So that kind of variety I thought was kind of cool. And speaking of cool, I thought this game was actually very pretty looking. I thought the character models and everything were very very good. The environments looked really good. It was I think it's like based in like feudal or mystical China, like Asian descent. All the characters are, from what I
Yes.
understand, and it reminded me of Soul Calibur in a way.
Yeah.
Just like when you
Yeah.
selected the characters too, they all had their little thing that they say. It just reminded me of Soul Calibur in that way. I was like, okay, and that was kind of cool to see that. And of course, since you got weapons too, which I was kind of disappointed that each character didn't have their own specific weapon, because you're just especially when you're playing the battle royale game, you're just kind of plopped in and you're running around like a madman trying to grab stuff.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that there's co-op. There's co-op. Like, you can play this game not as solo, but up to two of your buddies can join you and play the game cooperatively. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah. And then
What
you'd be
about you,
the
Tom?
last team standing.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's fun. You don't have to look like a fool by yourself. What about you, Tom? What did you like?
So right away for the jump, I thought they had like a cool like motion comic style intro cinematic,
Mm-hmm.
and so right away I was like, oh, this is visually cool. Like,
Yeah.
all right, I'm paying attention. What are you doing here?
Yeah.
Once you got into the game, I was kind of blown away. This could fall in the dislikes for me, but I put it here in
Okay.
the likes, which is
Yeah.
that the character customization is intense.
Mm.
Like, and I put down MMO level. Like the amount of detail you can put into customizing an existing hero
Yeah.
is weird. It's crazy to me how, because it's not just, okay, you're a character creation, you make a hero, right?
Yeah.
And then you Skyrim or something, where it's like, okay, I kind of expect on some level I can make myself, I can be an hour in here. But like when it's like, oh no, here's a dozen characters, but you can go in and change their eyebrows around. It's like, well, are they even the same dozen characters anymore once you're done messing with them?
It's true. I was playing with someone on one of the, I think it was like the bot mode, and the person was literally the same character that I was, but I didn't even realize until they used their ability. I was like, wait a minute, this person looks completely different from what I was, as I'm just using the base character, right? So that's, now that you mentioned that, I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. And pretty impressive that they could do that.
Yeah, it's unusual, right? You expect it in a single player game where you're making just the one character, or or something like that, or you're playing online and you have to make an avatar. But this is an interesting situation where there's existing characters with existing kind of lore. It's like, imagine if you could go and change every aspect of a Soul Calibur character and make them your own. It's weird, and I liked it. I liked it because I was not expecting that. I don't expect a roster, and then you can go and really tweak the real minutia on them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of lots of options, there's tons of weapons, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you respawn when you die with kind of like a random weapon loadout, especially in that game mode that you were talking about, where run and grab the stuff. I noticed that, where like, I had a sword a second ago, I died, and now I'm holding something else, and I was like, this is a really good way for me to kind of feel out all the weapons in a short amount of time, where it's just like, all right, and go again, and go again, and go again. And the weapon in my hand is just constantly changing. And I was like, well, there are a lot of these, Yeah. So I was impressed with that. And speaking of things that I was impressed with, I thought the controls were really pretty fluid, especially since I was playing on the cloud, right? I would expect, it's an online game, I'm playing on on a server through my, I was like, this is not going to play well. But it really did. I felt like when I died and things, it was my fault. Like, I didn't feel like, oh, that was lag. Oh, this was, something being miscommunicated along the way. I was like, no, that was me, you know.
Okay.
And
All
I
right.
appreciate that. Even when I suck real bad, I like to know that it was my fault. That not I can't really blame it on the software, you know.
Yeah. But speaking of faults, let's get into those dislikes then, huh?
Yeah.
Why don't you go ahead and start with that one?
Okay, so most of the game is not right like a story game, but they load you through kind of a tutorial like story mode thing to lead you up to the point where you can start doing these random matches. And man, is this protagonist chatty. They do not stop talking. And I'm like,
Yeah.
where's my link? Like, where's Pokemon Trainer? Stop
Where's my mute
talking.
button?
Yeah, like I don't want. I really am not interested in what you have to say here. And
Ooh, imagine if they were talking like the Animal Crossing people or not the
yeah,
entire
I
time.
guess it's the kind of dialogue you'd expect. Again, I guess kind of bringing this back to Soul Calibur. It's kind of the
Yeah.
kind of dialogue you would expect in a fighting game,
Yep.
but like it's not situationally like appropriate in a game like this. It's just too much.
I wonder, like when like especially with a battle royale game like this, right? Like if people can hear your character talking through their dialogue, it's like it like creates your like it gives them your enemy an easy way to spot you. You know, because it's like, oh, I know where this idiot is. He's over here talking away. I'm like, I'm going to sneak up on him and
Just
stab him to death.
monologuing.
Yeah.
That drove me crazy. Uh, Give me something that drove you crazy.
Oh my gosh. Let me talk about that menu system. Good gracious. That was not just like the UI of the beginning of the game, which was kind of deceptive, right? When I started the game, you know, it looked like a very clean, like, oh, click here to start the game. I'm like, oh, okay, easy enough. And then um when I tried to play this game the first time, I was like, "Oh, cool! I get to play a game or a genre that I'm not very really into." And the day I did decide to play it was when they did the servers. So that was when they were doing their server maintenance. So that was fun. I was like, "Oh, great! I don't have to play this game." But then I was like, "All right, I know, I do need to play this game." So once I started up the game, there was like I guess an intro to kind of show you how to play the game.
Yeah.
Which I didn't get to do because I think my game like crashed in the middle of that. So then
Oh.
when I restarted it, it disappeared. But like after I like dug through the ridiculous UI, I found how to do that again. I didn't go through it, but I was like, you know what? It's probably pretty similar to most other third person action games, which it wasn't, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. And so yeah, like, but this UI is just like there's just so much stuff just like thrown in you, so much information. And I was like, what is going on? Like, you've got like you said, like there's the quest stuff there. You've got like things that you can collect and all this other stuff. Then you got your character like doing some, you know, idle animation in front of you. And then like it just kept going. I was like, what is going on? And like, of course, they're trying to sell you with everything. Every waking page is them trying to like sell you some sort of microtransaction or something, some new event or whatever it is. And I got really flustered with this UI. And one of the things, even the game UI got busy, but I did find there was an option to actually turn that off.
Yeah.
But the UI, like when you were moving around and stuff like that, like I get it. It was supposed to be helpful, like telling you how to use your abilities and like what actions you can take based on the context of the situation, stuff like that. But I was like, good lord, like I just information overload. And what about you, Tom? What are some of the things you didn't?
Well, I want to agree real quick that man, it is dense. It is
Yeah.
loaded with stuff, and a lot of stuff it's loaded with is microtransactions, and that's an immediate turnoff for me.
Uh,
You know, I just no boo.
was
Yeah,
not fun.
I'm
Yeah.
old man. I don't want it. Unfortunately for me, I did not have a very nice visual experience. I think that was probably where the cloud
Mm,
came into the picture, where okay, my controls felt fluid the whole time, but you got to pay the sacrifice somewhere.
yeah.
So the game to me looked pretty muddy and pretty gross a lot of the time.
Hmm,
Which I guess, right, if you're gonna pick one, it's probably more important that especially in an online game, that
yeah.
you get all my buttons inputs correct. Speaking of button inputs, I ended up just mashing buttons kind of
Oh,
constantly. I did not
same.
feel like I was, you know, I don't know. Maybe,
Yeah,
maybe it's just me, but
as no, I totally agree with you because like I felt like moving around the environment felt fine. I think that was great. But when you were in actual combat, I just felt like I was just going like just flailing away, hoping that I hit the person. And like on top of that, I didn't like the fact that you couldn't adjust your sensitivity settings of your camera and your movement. That was
oh,
ridiculous. Both on mouse and keyboard and controller, mind you. So,
wow.
you can't change how slow or fast you move your camera around. So I was just like constantly, it felt like I was constantly getting whipped around and, losing sight of my enemy. So that was kind of annoying and discouraging for sure.
I've got a question for you because it was a dislike for me. Is that I felt like the layout was definitely designed for a keyboard and mouse.
Yeah.
Did you feel that between the two?
You know, I guess so. I initially played it in keyboard and mouse and then it went to controller.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think for the most part, it worked pretty well on controller.
Okay.
Although I will point out, and you've mentioned this in your dislikes too,
Yeah.
the fact that I don't know what kind of psychopath you wrote this to made the run and dash button the B button, and then the crouch button the left click. Who does that?
Sociopaths.
It's like why? They just wanted to be like just totally, and the fact that you can't change your controls. You can't. Like that's you're stuck in this particular format. I don't know why, but whatever. It
They
was
want you to learn to play their game and then not be able to play any other game.
no.
Ha! We
It's just
got you.
like
You're trapped here now. You live here
yeah.
now.
I,
Gotcha.
I mean this game really felt it didn't feel like a game at points. It just felt like a service where they just want you to buy things and that's it. I mean, I guess it is a free to play game, right? From what I understand, it's a free to play game, so they are going to try to get you to purchase something, anything, to get them to continue to allow their developers to keep building upon this game. So, yeah. But oof, I mean, the other thing is, I'm like I mentioned before, I'm really not a fan of battle royale games. I just felt like a lot of the times you're just running around gathering things like a squirrel,
Yeah.
and then
Hoard it.
oh yeah, hoarding everything you can, and then you go into a fight, and the fight lasts 2 seconds, and you're dead. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then I got to start this all over again. So, I mean, especially with the fact that the combat, like, and when you're fighting someone that like had I think as you unlock more levels in your character, it unlocks more moves, which I think is like also a pain in the ass because it's like me as an entry level person trying to play this game, I'm going up against these guys that have like put hundreds of hours in this game and have all their unlocks of their characters. It's like that's not fair. Especially when you're trying to even the landscape by like having them pick weapons up, but if they have extra attack moves,
Yeah.
that can like stun lock me or whatever it is, like that doesn't make any sense. Like, what is the point then?
Yeah.
So that's disappointing to me too. Anything else you want to bring up before we talk about other thoughts?
I think I'm good on my dislikes, but I do have something that I need to as a stipulation in my other thoughts
Yeah,
area.
go ahead. Why don't you go start with the other thoughts then?
So as you pointed out, there are a lot of different modes to this game, or at least more than one.
Yeah,
And I found that bot mode like way too late. So there was a
yeah,
version of this game that you can play single player against, all bots, right?
Yeah.
I personally do not like these competitive online games.
Sure.
So I would have liked to at least start there, right?
Yeah.
So that I could learn and get comfortable with how the full mechanics of the game, not just like the intro where it's like, this
Right.
is how you press your buttons. I'm talking
Yeah.
about like, put me through the game loop a couple of times against the computer so that I understand what I'm supposed to do in this space and be
Yeah.
comfortable with your crazy controller layout. And then let me go play against other people, because playing against other people and just getting your butt handed to you 100 times is not fun. It makes
Very
me
discouraging.
would not want to play your game. So even if it had just been like a pop-up where it was like, bing, like, do you want to go online against other people right now, or do you want to play some against bots? I would
They have
have
pop-ups for everything else.
immediately picked,
Yeah.
Put me in with the computer.
Exactly. They have all the other notifications except how to properly shepherd someone through this experience.
Yeah.
Which is too bad. The other thing I want to say is there is a cross play between, obviously Xbox and PC players on Game Pass. I think there might be cross play with people outside of the ecosystem. And I mentioned before, there's supposedly a campaign mode coming out, which adds to another experience for someone that maybe prefers a single player style experience. So that'd be kind of cool. And again, like I mentioned, this seems more like a business. And there's like, if you go to the quit menu of a particular game mode, there's a customer support option right there. I'm like, okay, this is like I'm going to Staples or something like that instead of playing a game. So be it. But Tom, we got to talk about if we want to keep playing this game or not, don't we?
Yeah. I think anybody listening so far probably has an idea where this is headed.
But before we get to that, we wanted to let you know about our spectacular sponsor, Winner Winner. Winner Winner is a live arcade claw machine game available on Android and iOS, and it's 100% skill-based. Trust me, if you see me play my games, you know I'm not that great, and I still have won games on my first try. There's hundreds of prizes, even featuring gaming merch from Nintendo. Pick your prize from choices in your particular game, or bank your earnings with tickets to redeem any other prize you want from their wide selection. And for all you lovely people listening or watching our show, you can get bonus tokens on your first app token purchase. Download and create your account, then use the link in the episode's description to enter promo code DALE after you sign in. Check it out. It's clawsome.
Yeah. I really can't imagine myself getting very invested in this. It feels to me like a huge time sink, right? This is the kind of thing where I once you start down this dark path, forever will it rule your destiny, right? I would like to go back and play maybe a few rounds of that full bot mode, because I think that for me would have been fun. Based on my limited time with the bot mode. Like I only got to try the bot mode for a few minutes. And that's when I started to be like, oh, okay, like I'm having fun here. And then, my hour was up. So maybe I'll go back and try that. I'm not sure, especially now hearing that you can't. I didn't look to see that I could change my controls, but knowing that I can't, it's not intuitive to me. And I don't know. I think that there just are more other games that we're going to play instead. And I didn't uninstall it immediately. Well, I guess I couldn't because it's on the cloud. But
it was on the cloud. It's always there for you, ready to play, Tom.
Yes. Okay. So whenever I feel really like I need to get in some blade points in, maybe I'll go back. Yeah. We'll see. Maybe when that campaign launches,
maybe,
because I would play a single player version of this, maybe, or at least that would be optimal for me. That's what I'd want to play, as long as the character stopped talking.
Well, for me, as pretty as this game is for now, because like you mentioned, the single player thing, beauty for me was only skin deep. So I am trashing this game. I haven't found a battle royale game. I take that back. Fall Guys is the only battle royale game that I will play. But but not this game right now. And those are our thoughts. Let us know what you think of this game. Follow us and say hello on Twitter at TC1H1D or shoot us an email at TC1H1D@outlook.com. Check out our next streams on Twitch at twitch.tv/1H1D. And if you're watching this podcast on YouTube, send us a comment down below and we'll promise to read and even respond.
Who does that?
1H1D is part of the QTB network. And if you like gaming podcasts, check out Quit the Build, a weekly gaming news podcast. And they do a lot of Kirby stuff too, which is, Kirby balls and all that fun stuff. And to see the other fun stuff that they're doing, check out quitthebuild.com/network.
Woo.
Yeah.
Kirby the pink puffball?
Poyo, yeah. I don't know. So that's that stuff. Tom, we got to find out what we're playing next, don't we?
Yes. I need to know.
Well, a surprise for the surprise me button is not being used this week, but
You're fired.
I did. The surprise me button was fired this week. We want you back eventually. We pointed out I created a Twitter poll and asked our Twitter followers, like, what game do you want us to play next? And I'm super excited about this, but we're playing Power Wash Simulator.
Chris, don't you have a house? Can't you do that for real?
I do have a house. I could do that for real, but I want to do it virtually and apparently potentially cooperatively too. So
I mean, I could come over your house and we could do that cooperatively and get your house clean.
No, I don't have 2 power washers.
Oh, okay.
I only have 1. So yes, we're going to be playing Power Wash Simulators on our next episode. So thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in, and we will catch you on the next one.
Thanks, everybody.